Hello, so we're back with the Eminence and Shadow, this time with Season 2. So yeah, I actually completely forgot that this series was going to come out this month, so hence the late review. But yeah, let's just jump right in. So this is Season 2, Episode 1, aka Episode 21 overall, and this is Lawless City. And we start off immediately with Best Girl Delta running naked through the forest. So yeah, she runs naked through the forest and starts howling and then takes a nap. Why we had this scene in there, I don't know. I'm not going to complain because like I said, Delta is best girl. And we immediately cut to a Shadow Garden meeting where all the members are there, including Shadow, and they're basically just kind of briefly talking about money and stuff and how there's a red moon and the moon's getting redder and redder. Of course, the girls are worried that this might be the beginnings of the legendary Red Moon. And Shadow is just like, it's fine, I'll take care of it. And in his mind, he's just like, what's wrong with these girls? Like, so the moon's just a little bit red. So what? They have no idea that the fact that this moon is red is like a big thing. And then we cut to the Lawless City. And the Lawless City is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It is just a city that has a terrible reputation, a lot of criminal activity, a lot of vices like prostitution, slave trading, stuff like that. This is where it all goes down. Just a bunch of like illegal practices. And we actually have a team up between Quentin and Goldie, who you may remember as warriors who fought against Cid in the Bushin Festival. Cid was the one that beat them under disguise, but they've teamed up now to hunt the Blood Queen. And the Blood Queen is supposed to be like the queen of vampires. And there's this red tower within the Lawless City. And there they see a figure called the White Demon. And the White Demon was like a big time criminal with a huge bounty on his head. And he thought that he could take out the Blood Queen, but he got captured, had one of his arms amputated, and now he's chained to this tower and he's forced to fight off anyone who wants to get in. And so the two clash, and we don't see the aftermath of that. We just see blood shooting in the air. And that's when we cut to Cid and Claire. And Claire is dragging Cid through the city, through the Lawless City, I should say. And yeah, Cid's just along for the ride. Basically, after the Bushin Festival, Cid pulls some strings with Gamma and was able to get a reservation at this fancy restaurant. And that's when Claire decides that she's going to go to the Lawless City to visit the Dark Knight Association, and she's going to help them take down the Blood Queen. And she wants to bring Cid with her because she believes that if he's involved, even if it's just being in the area, then maybe she could end up getting some recommendations from people to help Cid when it comes to his future. Because not even Cid knows what he wants to do after he graduates. Obviously, he wants to continue doing his Shadow Garden and Chuny adventures, but he doesn't know what he wants his civilian disguise to do. Because Claire, since she's older, she's going to take over family business. And so Cid's like, yeah, I don't know what I want to do. He just tells Claire that it's a secret. He doesn't tell anyone what his dreams are. We have this funny moment where she passes by this guy who's selling servants, and two of the servants are Goldie and Quentin. So it turned out that the White Demon defeated the two of them, but didn't kill them. Instead, they got captured, and now they're slaves. And he's trying to pawn them off on Claire. And as Claire's like talking to this guy and basically turning down his offer, and he keeps lowering down his prices, Cid's staring at the two of them. He's like, they look kind of familiar, but I don't recognize their faces. So it's just kind of funny because these are the two people who Cid fought in the tournament that just happened, and he already doesn't remember what they looked like because he doesn't care. So I don't know, I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, we have a moment where Claire basically is once again, she continues dragging him through the city, and she's like, come on, let's go for a walk. And he's like, I can't walk if you're dragging me. And she tells him, well, if I let you go, you're going to get lost. And then they argue back and forth. Like, no, I won't. Yes, you will. No, I won't. Yes, you will. And then immediately does like a flash cut, and we see Cid alone. He's like, she's right. And he's completely lost. Turned out that she wanted him to stay inside the inn that they were staying at, but He got bored and wandered off, and now he's lost. And we have another like funny little montage moment where we have people passing by and they're bumping into him. And every time they bump into him, they steal his money purse, but as soon as they start walking away, he uses his slime to get it back. And not only does he get his purse back, but he gets their money back as well. And so we just have a montage of people constantly bumping into him, taking his purse, him getting it back, and then taking theirs as well. So at the end of this, it's evening now, and he just has a pile of money bags that he's been stealing from people that were trying to steal his. He hears this commotion, so he's looking into this alleyway where he sees some guys beating up a ghoul that they believe is dead. That's when the moon turns red. It gets nighttime, moon turns red, and the ghoul comes back to life, super powerful, and starts slaughtering these guys. And then the ghouls turn to Cid, and they come at him, and Cid's just kind of standing there staring at them, and he's wondering, okay, what should I do? Should I run away like a mob character, screaming in fright? Or should I attack them and easily dispatch them like a mysterious character? And he's just sitting there debating. He's like, maybe I'll just wait and see what happens. And then that's when this woman shows up. And her name is Mary. And she claims to be a vampire hunter. And she easily dispatches of these two ghouls. And then she tells Cid, run if you value your life. The frenzy has begun. The moon is red. It is too late now. Something along those lines. And Cid just stands there and he's like repeating those lines back. And he just starts like having this orgasmic moan. And yeah, pay attention to what she says because it's going to play as a running gag later on in this episode. So we also have Poe and Skel. They are Cid's friends for anyone who doesn't remember them. And they're basically hiding out in this Lawless City because they don't expect anyone in the academy to find them there. And they're thinking about maybe losing their virginities. Like they're going to try to maybe find a prostitute or something. And then that's when they run into some ghouls who start chasing them down. Meanwhile, we see Claire back at the inn and she's pissed off because Cid's gone missing. And she steps out to go find him when a fat dude runs out of his room next to hers. And there's this woman, I guess he paid for, who has turned into a ghoul. And Claire easily just kills this ghoul and demands the guy like, hey, have you seen a boy with black hair and black eyes? Basically Cid. And he's like, no. And then she storms off trying to find him. And then we see this prostitute named Marie. And she's kind of like bruised up because her last customer kind of, I guess, went hard on her. Yeah, she's just basically watching as all these ghouls are attacking people. And she's kind of starting to freak out. And a ghoul shows up into her room. It's going to kill her. When Cid smashes through the window and kills the ghoul. And then turns to Marie. It says, run if you value your life. The frenzy has begun. The moon is red. We've ran out of time. So he basically repeats what Mary said when she, quote unquote, saved him. Like he loved that line so much that he stole it. Now he's using it. And I just thought this was hilarious. So yeah, she asks him, like, who are you? And then he's like, my name is Shadow. And then he disappears. And that's when Marie decides to take all the money that she's earned as a prostitute and she's going to turn her life around. She's going to run away and do something. So I know what happens because I'm all caught up with the manga and I've read some of the light novel. I won't spoil it here because I'm not sure if they're going to bring her up again in the anime and if they're going to do anything different with her. I will say she's like a minor character. You don't really got to pay too much attention to her. She, as far as I remember, she doesn't play that big of a part in the series overall, at least not at this point in time. We see a moment where Goldie and Quentin have been able to escape from being slaves and they're running as they're being chased by ghouls. And then Poe and Skel are running as they're being chased by ghouls. And then Skel like trips and falls down. And Poe just keeps running and says, I will never forget your virginity. And yeah, we cut to Claire and she's standing over a headless body and she's holding the head to her chest. She's like cradling, she's crying and she's apologizing because she believes this is Cid. And she's apologizing that she got her brother murdered. If she never brought him here, he would be fine, he'd be alive. And then that's when Mary shows up and asks her, like, are you the woman who's looking for a boy with black hair and black eyes? And Claire, like, through tears says, yeah, but I already found him. He's dead. And that's when Mary's, like, looks at the dead body and notices, like, a missing eyeball and says, but that dude doesn't have black hair or black eyes. And then Claire's like, eh? And she looks at it and she's like, who the hell is this? And then she just throws in, she's completely fine. And I was like, okay. That was, I don't know, that was a really good sight gag. And Mary explains, I've seen 2 figures that fit that description. One of them I saw earlier when the moon was turning red and I saved them from ghouls. He was just staring at them, smiling. And this was actually Cid. And Claire's like, oh, that can't be him. He may, like, cry and scream and stuff, but he would never smile. And then she's like, oh, well, the other one I saw just a few minutes ago heading towards their Dark Knight Association. And Claire immediately assumes, oh, that's got to be Cid. And Mary tells her that this one was kidnapped by some vampires and was taken to the Red Tower, where they plan on using him as a ritual sacrifice to bring about their queen. Because the queen of vampires has been, like, laying dormant in stasis. But with the power of the red moon and with this sacrifice, they'll be able to, other vampires will be able to bring her back. And so Claire and Mary set off to go to the Red Tower to, quote unquote, save Cid, despite the fact that he doesn't need saving and he's not the one that got kidnapped. And then we just have, like, a cool moment where they, like, slash some ghouls and kill him. We have this other character, I believe her name is Claudia, and she is, like, leading the Dark Knight Association. And as all these ghouls are going around attacking civilians and killing everybody, the Dark Knights just basically become cowards and they all rush away. Like, all of them leave. Only one soldier and Claudia are stay behind, and they get overrun with ghouls. But right before they're about to get killed, Cid shows up and he slaughters the ghouls. And he once again uses Mary's line about run if you want to live. The frenzy has begun. Yada yada yada. So yeah, he uses that line again. And Claudia asks him, like, who are you? And he says his name is Shadow, and he leaves. And then we have 2 other figures. One of them is Yukimi, who is a badass Kyuubi. She's awesome. I freaking love her. And the other one is Juggernaut. And they're both, like, leaders of separate parts of the Lawless City. Like, they both have separate territories within the Lawless City with people under their command. And they're just going around slaughtering all these ghouls. And then they see each other and they go to start attacking each other. And that's when Cid shows up and he drops in between them. And they ask him who he is. And then he drops his famous line, my name is Shadow, he who lurks in the shadows in order to hunt the shadows. And then we just have, like, a freeze frame of the 2 staring at him. And that's the end of the episode. And it was awesome. I loved it. Freaking so happy that Eminence and Shadow is back. And it's so freaking amazing of a series. Like, it just balances the crazy over-the-topness of Cid and his Chunia adventures with, like, some serious crap that's going down. If you take Cid out of this series no longer becomes a comedy. Cid is the only thing really keeping this as a comedy. Because if you look, everything else around it is just terrible. You have, like, corrupt kingdoms who are, like, sacrificing their people, doing, like, illegal, like, activities where they're, like, you know, dosing their citizens up with drugs that turns them into monsters. You have a girl who's being preyed on by her teacher at some point. You had another girl who, her dad, who's a king, was being drugged so that the guy who was drugging her can forcefully marry the daughter and become king of the kingdom. You have slavery. You have ghouls going around killing people. You have a prostitute who was beaten pretty badly by her former customer and is forced to work at this crappy job because she's forced under contract. So you just have, like, a lot of terrible things going on. But then you throw Cid in the mix and everything becomes comedy. Well, not everything becomes comedy, but the series overall becomes a comedy just because Cid makes it a comedy through his actions. And that's what I love about this series so much. This is going to be a pretty cool arc. If I remember correctly, I think this was a pretty badass vampire arc. And I gotta say, I mean, it's just one episode, but it's already doing a better job at the whole anime vampire than freaking Castlevania is. That Netflix series is absolute trash. So yeah, if you want your anime vampire hunting fix, check out Eminence in Shadow Season 2, because we start off with the vampire arc, and it's a pretty damn good arc. And yeah, animation is good. Voice acting is amazing. The voice actor who does Cid is just... the fact that he's able to balance Cid's apathetic, kind of dumb, naive voice when he's in his civilian disguise, and then his shadow voice that he uses is just awesome. Yeah, I don't know how much more I can gush about this. This was awesome. I freaking love this episode. I love this series. I recommend it. And this was a really good start to Season 2. I'm really happy with what I saw. Here's hoping that, yeah, the rest of Season 2 continues to be great. I guess we'll find out. But there you go. There's Eminence in Shadow Season 2, Episode 1. Episode 21 overall. Lawless City. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.